waiting for everything to get online. If you're here, say hi. I can say hi to you. I'm just making sure everything's online. Okay, it looks like we are. So, hi everyone. My name's Abby. I am the founder of DIY Fashion Rebel, and I help absolute beginners learn to start sewing clothing at home without the overwhelm and confusion. Okay, because I taught myself how to sew from home. It was not an easy journey. It was a struggle, and I want to make this all easier for you. So if that's your dream, if that's your goal, if you're in this boat of being an absolute beginner, then I would absolutely love to have you hit subscribe or like the page or the group, so that way I can help you on your sewing journey and you can get notifications whenever I drop new content to help you. Okay, sweet. So today I'm going to be talking about one of the issues, probably the number one issue I see beginners have when it comes to sewing and their stitches don't look very good. Whether they're really like loose and loopy and the thread's all over the place, or the stitches are too tight and they're kind of weird and bunching your fabric up. 9 times out of 10, the problem that we're talking about today will fix this issue, okay? And beginners always have problems with this. I had problems with this and I didn't get it. So hopefully today we can talk about this and your stitches will start looking better, okay? It's gonna sound real basic, so bear with me. But this issue that I see all the time, are you ready for it? It is threading the top thread on your sewing machine. And it sounds really basic because if you want to sew anything, you have to thread this, like you can't sew without it. But that being said, if you don't do this correctly, it will lead to 90% of your problems when it comes to your stitches not looking right. I had this problem all the time. I had an old machine that my mom had, and it was a front load bobbin, if you're familiar with those. If you're not, I'll put a little link up here. Obviously not live, but if you're on the replay, you'll see it. And that machine, I would be sewing along, and then suddenly the stitches would start looking wonky. And I was like, what the heck? I was doing fine and now it's not. And I would play with things and I would move things. And after months and months of this confusion, what I finally realized was that I would be sewing so fast, because after a while, like, you get very good at sewing straight lines. And I would be sewing so quickly that the thread coming from my top spool would jump out of place of where it was supposed to be. And then I would have to rethread it. And no matter what issues I was having, whether it was I was sewing too fast and the thing jumped somewhere, or I just threaded it, just freshly threaded my machine and my stitches didn't look very good, 9 times out of 10, it was because I hadn't done this correctly. And even today, sometimes I throw it on there and I'll start sewing, I'm like, oh, I must not have done this right. Because it seems a little silly again, because you just take this thread, right, and you like wrap it around a couple of things and you stick it through the needle. How wrong can you get it? Like, how, question mark, can it really cause that much problems? Every single point that you wrap that thread around is helping to adjust your tension, okay? So, yeah, it is that important. I'm gonna move my machine closer to you so you can kind of see, but like from the spool pin over to this little piece, like when I first started sewing, I was like, oh, you just wrap it around there just to make sure it doesn't get tangled. If you don't go around this correctly, it affects your tension. This one is very important. The take-up lever, 100%. If you don't get it around there, you will not have good tension and you will not have good stitches. And the other one that's really trips people up is I might have to, I'm not sure how to show you with the camera up there. I didn't plug in my second camera today, but I will just try to lift this and show you. So under here, oh good, I'm glad I'm live and I'm not set up properly today. But, so right here, yeah, you have this little silver bar. And your thread comes down this side, it goes up, it goes around the take-up lever, and then it comes back down. And when it comes down, it has to go behind this little silver bar. And again, this little silver bar, it's so funny because it's one of those things that like, sometimes my thread would pop out from there when I was sewing. I was like messing with stuff or moving it around, and it would come out from behind there. And as soon as it is no longer behind that little silver bar, the tension starts getting weird. And so I think that as beginners, when I was a beginner at least, I didn't quite understand how important each part of this system of threading is to ensure that your stitches look perfect and beautiful. And it's not hard to get this all set up correctly. It takes 20 seconds maybe, but you do have to make sure that you go through each point correctly, okay? So if you thread your machine, you throw fabric on, and the stitches don't look very good, I would highly recommend taking out your thread and re-threading your machine and go a little more slowly and try to make sure that you really do each step correctly. Because once I got really good at actually threading my machine correctly, I have fewer tension problems. Stitches just looked better in general, and I spent less time troubleshooting my machine because I always wanted the problem to be something else. I didn't want to say that like I had done it wrong, because it's like, oh, 1, 2, 20 seconds, like I must have done that right. So I would constantly, oh, it's the needle, oh, it's the something else, oh, it's the fabric, oh, it's, but 9 times out of 10, if I just took all my thread out and took the time to re-thread it slowly, the problems just kind of went away. So this is so super duper important, and because it's so important, I have a very detailed video explaining step by step how to go through each of these points correctly and what to look for. Okay, so there'll be a link up here after the, if you're on the replay. If you're live, I will drop it in the chat right now. And that is the best tip that I can give you if you're finding that you have lots of tension problems. There are other tips and tricks, there are other things you can do, but if your machine was working fine and nothing crazy has happened in between it like working and not working, just try taking the thread out and rethreading it. And I know that you're like wanting to finish that seam and you just want to finish it and you don't want to rethread it, because that's how I felt all the time. I was like, I don't want to do this. I just want to make some little adjustment. I'll adjust the tension wheel. I'll adjust the presser foot. I'll do something just so I can finish this seam. But it always led to more frustration and to actually, in the end, taking longer to fix than if I had just taken it out. Okay, so it's not the most fun tip of the day, but I honestly believe that by finally just taking the time to unthread it and put it back in, I actually find sewing to be more fun now. I'm not frustrated with the tension. I'm not trying to adjust things or like make up problems where there aren't any. I just take a breath, take all the thread off, rethread it, and start again. So I really think this is going to help you guys. Let me know if you try this and it doesn't help you at all. If anybody has other tips for beginners when it comes to tension that aren't just rethreading, like common other things to look for, please share them in the comments below. We can make this kind of like a discussion info thread. And yeah, I I just think that really was one of the big turning points for me when I finally started taking the time to just rethread the machine because my tension wasn't right. And that really helped a lot. So if this helps you, if you are having questions about your sewing machine, about threading, about how to use it, about it still kind of scares me a little bit because I'm brand new and I don't know how to use this machine, then please check out in the description and the link below my free printable PDF, 5 Steps to Start Sewing. It walks you through every step from unboxing your machine to sewing your first stitches that actually look really beautiful. So I go through unboxing it, you need to know all the different parts of your machine, getting comfortable using it to sew, threading it, and tension adjustments. So it's a great foundation to just get started using your machine. And you can grab it for free. Just head to the link below and you'll get this PDF sent right to your inbox. And it's all clickable. So you just click each of these steps and you'll get how-to videos just like the how to thread video that I linked earlier. And that's actually step 4, the middle one, thread the top thread. So that's like an example of what you'll see inside of this PDF. So I hope that this helps you on your sewing journey. I know it helped me. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments below. I check all the comments, and if you have a question that I haven't covered in a different video, then I will make a special video just for you, helping answer your questions. So yeah, so happy sewing, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. All right. Bye.